Okay, it's time now for our daily flick through the papers, which are hot off the press here in France this Friday morning. And for that, I'm joined on set by Alison Sargent. Hi, Alison.
Hi, Thomas.
And Alison, you're taking a look, first of all, at the French presidential elections here in France. Many traditional opinion polls show that Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen are just about tied for first place in that first round, maybe even the second round. There's also reason to believe that François Fillon could also be, despite the scandals, one of the frontrunners.
Right, yeah, and this is because of something called the vote caché, or the hidden vote. And it's the idea that people often in polls don't say who they're actually going to vote for because they're embarrassed. And so according to L'Opinion, there's a study that analyzes social media activity that shows that François Fillon may actually come in second place in front of Emmanuel Macron. And there's a cartoon in that paper today that illustrates how that polling should actually be done. We see a pollster asking the Marianne, who is the symbol of the French Republic, are you going to choose the strategic vote, the hidden vote, or the stylish vote? And we see behind her those campaign posters which show who each vote represents. We have Emmanuel Utile, or strategic, François Caché, or hidden, and Jean-Luc à la mode, who is the stylish vote.
And one man who's chosen that strategic Macron vote is the former Prime Minister, Manuel Valls.
Yeah, papers today are continuing to analyze the fallout from his choice to abandon the Socialist Party. And Manuel Valls, the Libération is now wondering if the Socialist Party is going to, in turn, turn their backs on him. They're asking, could he be kicked out of the party? Apparently, there is mounting pressure for the Socialists to give some kind of punishment to party defectors, and some close to Benoît Hamon, cited by Libération, say they could take action against Valls when the party meets for a national meeting on Monday.
And that business paper is putting the spotlight on a key campaign issue, and that's spending power.
Yeah, according to Les Echos, spending power is going to be key in this election. Now, they are the business paper, so it makes sense that they might think that. The paper cites a poll that finds that half of all French people, though, think it should have an important place in the campaign. And the paper reminds us of the promises made by each candidate to help out lower-income households. We have Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who wants to raise the minimum wage. Benoît Hamon wants a universal income. Emmanuel Macron wants to increase the bonus given to working people for holding down their jobs. And Marine Le Pen proposes something called a purchasing power bonus, which is basically an extra 80 euros a month for lower income people.
And Alison, there's one issue that hasn't yet come up in any of the manifestos or in the campaign, and that's the rights of people with disabilities.
Yeah, there's a group of activists that's trying to change that way. They want to push disability rights into the spotlight in the campaign. You can read about it in Libération. The paper reports that 1 out of every 7 people in France has some sort of disability, but disability rights really still haven't become a priority for politicians, according to the paper. The article cites one example that impacted people with motor disabilities. Back in 2014, there was a measure to make all public spaces wheelchair accessible, and it was put on hold. So for the paper, that symbolized for a lot of people the government's inaction on this issue.
But it's not all politics today here in France. The communist paper is focusing on something called the winter truce that ends today. Alison, tell us more.
Yeah, in French, it's called la trêve hivernale, or the winter truce, and it's a measure that prevents landlords from kicking their tenants out onto the street for not paying their rent during the winter months. Now, this goes into effect in November, and it actually ends tomorrow on the 1st of April, and that means, according to Humanité, the start of a very stressful period for families who are facing financial difficulty. According to Humanité, the number of people being kicked out of their homes has gone up by 80% since the year 2000. So on the front page, the paper asks today, is this something we want to stop or keep doing?
And we end this press review with a word about the American President Donald Trump. Libération, the left-leaning paper, is devoting its front page today to the measures taken by that new US president, removing some key environmental regulations.
Yeah, this is an issue that kind of touches to the heart in France for many people, because removing those measures will make it very hard for the US to keep up its promises in the agreement made here in Paris. Libération asks, should we judge Donald Trump for crimes against the planet? That's on its front page, and the paper's response inside is a resounding yes. They call Trump the climate enemy #1 and wonder if there's actually a way to take him to court. And one of the ways they think that could be done is to try him for something called ecocide or ecocide, but the paper does admit that that would be rather complicated.
Okay, Alison Sargent, thank you very much.